Okay, the question really is, I don't know how you do it in your country, but who really is taking care and who pays and who looks after and who manages the distribution of Czech films in the Czech Republic?
Normally it should be the Czech distributor. Very often, it's like the producer thinks that he can rule the distribution, because this is distribution for many of the Czech producers is not a real work, it's just to put the film in the cinema.
Yeah, so with us it's a bit different, because one of the main things which I did when I came some 20 years ago to the fund, it was for me because I was a producer for many years and I had a lot of troubles with the release of my films as a producer. So I have this philosophy which really always asks, whose film is it anyway and who controls the fate and the destiny of the film? Which means this is the producing team. Yet I agree with you completely that distribution is a skill. It is a profession, I'm not saying not. On the other hand, but because it is the film of the producers or the producing team, they will do everything. What has happened because of that? That we have now in Israel about 4 or 5 people who used to work for the big majors, American majors like Fox, Warner and so on. They are now freelancers. And the same as a producer will hire a line producer or production manager, he hires a distribution manager. But the distribution manager reports to the producer.
Yeah, that's actually not against my own system. It will be fine if it's happened like this in Czech Republic, because then it will oblige the producer to have a distribution manager, whatever, if it is a distribution company or a distribution person, but it's somebody who brings the skills of it. Yeah. So that was like my concern, who's important. But that's the thing. Maybe a distribution manager will have done exactly the same role than us. It's not like I'm defending the lobby interest of distributors.
Oh, no, I'm all for distributors.
This is just like about having the skills.
But because every film that we make, it's really to a large extent a prototype. It's one of a kind. So you have to be careful and create a strategy and think what is really the USP of your film and give it time. What happens? What happens is that producer or the producing team, 3-4 years they worked until finally the child is born. And then what do? They give it for adoption. They give it to a distributor. Yeah, now, if the distributor is a great father, it's okay for the child. But if he's a bad father, he puts it on an automatic pilot for the first weekend, and that's it.
Yeah, but let's take the same example with a child. You are the father of a child, or the mother of a child. Your child born, it's the most beautiful child of the universe. You know it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not. So, it's also to have a certain distance. You can imagine things like this.
No, I understand what you're saying.
A director is looking at his film from very close.
Yeah.
Thanks to the producer, you can get a creative input of a producer because somebody can take some distance. Then, when the film is finished, everybody, like all the production team, a director team, is like watching it the way they want it to look at. So it's good to have also another point of view with a certain distance.
I agree with you completely.
That's the point. If in Israel it's working better, like to give the money to the producer, I'm surely fine.
We give, okay, so the thing is this, to bring out a film in Israel for this market, we are talking about a minimum of $100,000 so that people will really feel that this film exists. And we give it to the producer. And the producer, if he goes to a distributor, it's okay with me. But then my business partner, my partner as a fund is the producer. Because I did my contract with the producer, is the person I talk to. If he wants to take the money that we give him and do a deal with the distributor, it's perfectly okay with me, yes? But we as a fund do not deal direct with distributors.
It works. I think, in this case, I think it works. It works more in
small countries.
Small or middle-sized country. When I say middle-sized, like 10, 12 millions.
Exactly.
And I saw the example in small countries, like in the Baltics. Most of the producers, they are distributed because
it's very small.
Because if they make 8,000 admission, it's already top things. It's like, but I think in bigger country that will not work because this is like you more.
No, this I agree with you that this way really works for smaller countries.